Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Magic Ridge. I'm your host, Ridge. Nice to meet you, and today we're going to get right into it. We are going over the new cards that are printed and legal in Commander, Vintage, and Legacy. These cards are not legal in Standard, Pioneer, or Modern. So if you're Commander or like Legacy format or whatever they call that, welcome aboard. Let's check out the new cards printed in the EDH deck from Adventures of the Forgotten Realms called Planar Portal. Really cool old card as well. So we're going to get right into it. We only have 18 minutes to film this real quick. So first up, we have Bag of Devouring for 1 black mana, 1 CC, artifact. Whenever you sacrifice another non-token artifact or creature, exile it. You can pay 2 mana, tap this artifact, sacrifice another artifact or creature to draw a card. You can pay 3 mana and tap this to sacrifice Bag of Devouring, roll a d10, return up to X cards from among cards, exile with Bag of Devouring to their owner's hands, where X is the result. You be the judge. The bag's got teeth. It looks real cool. The artwork's rad. I'm sure it's in the lore. How's it going to fare in the game? I'm not sure. Next up, we have a reprint. This has been printed in another deck. We have Bucknard's Everfull Purse for 2 mana of any color, 2 CC, artifact. You can pay 1 mana and tap this artifact to roll a d4 and create a number of treasure tokens equal to the result. The player to your right gains control of Bucknard's Everfull Purse. Personally, I'd never play it because I'm not giving you shite. Next up, we've got Dan's Macabre, or Dance. It's not Dance, it's like a Dan's Macabre or something like that. So for 3 mana of any color and Swamp, 5 CC, we have a sorcery speed looking like Liliana Chick type stuff here. So each player sacrifices a non-token creature. Roll a d20 and add the toughness of the creature you sacrifice this way. A 1 through 14 is going to net you return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. A 15 plus is going to return up to 2 creature cards put into graveyards this way onto the battlefield under your control. Very nice. Next up, probably my favorite spoiler just on the count of the creature type, we have a Death Tyrant for 4 mana of any color and a swamp, 5 CC. We have a creature type Beholder Skeleton. If only he was a legend. He is a 4/6 with Menace. He has negative energy cone. Whenever an attacking creature you control or a blocking creature an opponent controls dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. For 5 mana of any color and a swamp, 6 mana in total, return Death Tyrant from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Next up, we have another reprint from another deck. We have Ebony Fly. For 2 mana of any color, 2 CC, we have an artifact. Ebony Fly enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or you could pay 4 mana, roll a d6. Until end of turn, you may have Ebony Fly become an XX Insects artifact creature token with flying, where X is the result. Whenever Ebony Fly attacks, another target attacking creature gains flying until the end of turn. Very nice. I like the artwork on that fly. Next up, we've got Fervored Suspicion for 6 mana of any color and a swamp/mountain, 8 CC sorcery. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among those non-land cards without paying their mana costs, and it also has rebound. So if you cast a spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. Pretty good, pretty good. Really good, actually. Really good. Next up, we've got Fiend Lash. For 1 mana of any color and a mountain, 2 CC, we have an artifact equipment of the red variety. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has reach. Pretty cool. Not many reaching equipments out there. Whenever equipped creature is dealt damage, it deals damage equal to its power to target player or planeswalker and has an equip cost of the ugly 3 here for 2 mana of any color and a mountain. So 3 mana. A little much there, but okay. Okay. Next up, we've got Grim Hireling. For 3 mana of any color and a swamp, 4 CC, we have a creature type Tiefling Rogue. I like rogues. This rogue is a 3/2, has a little extra that front action, and whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasure tokens. You can pay 1 black mana and sacrifice X treasure tokens. X treasures, I guess, doesn't say token. Target creature gets -X, -X until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. You're probably going to want to use those treasures for mana, but what do I know? What do I know? Or winning the game with Revels and Riches, something like that. Next up, we've got Hellish Rebuke for 2 mana of any color in a swamp, 3 CC, instant speed. Until end of turn, permanents your opponents control gain whenever this permanent deals damage to the player who cast Hellish Rebuke. Sacrifice this permanent, you lose 2 life. I'm just confused and am going to move on. Next up, we have Hurl Through Hell. That's pretty grungy. That's pretty out there. Okay, for 2 mana of any color, a swamp and a mountain. 4 CC, we have an instant speed, exile target creature. Until the end of your next turn, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. Sorry. No one returns unchanged. Pretty cool, like the artwork on that guy. And next up, we have a Legendary Beholder that was actually spoiled in the spoilers, but that's beyond the point. We have Kara Zakar, the Eye Tyrant. For 3 mana of any color, a swamp and a mountain, 5 CC. We have a legendary creature, Beholder. This Beholder is a 5/5. Whenever you attack a player, tap target creature that player controls and goad it. A lot of goad action going on. Whenever an opponent attacks one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose a life. Oh, there's pretty good incentive to attack somebody else. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Next up, we have a black legendary creature. We have Lorcan Warlock Collector for 5 mana of any color and black. We have a 7 CC legendary creature, Devil. This Devil is a 6/6 with flying. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, put it out of the battlefield under your control. It's a warlock in addition to its other types. If a warlock you control would die, exile it instead. Alright, so we have like a warlock commander or something to add to the 99 for stealing type shenanigans. It is pretty heavy CC, so it's definitely going to be a late game. But I do like it. It's definitely going to be played. Next up, one of the guys I wouldn't mind building for Adventures of the Forgotten Realm EDH gameplay channel, Commander Wars EDH, check it out. We have Prosper Tome Bound. For 2 mana of any color and a swamp mountain, 4 CC, we have a legendary creature, Tiefling Warlock. This Warlock is a 1/4. He is hella ass on him, okay? Just leave it at that. He's got Death Touch, too, so it's probably poisonous ass as well. Probably avoid it. He has Mystic Arcanum, I think. Yeah. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Very nice. I like that. It's kind of like a pseudo draw. Pact Boon. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. Pretty cool. You're generating ramp that way as well. Like I said, I like this guy. I will possibly build him if I draw him. Pretty much whatever my friends don't want to build that I draw in this booster box opening, that's what I'm going to play. We're kind of all tired of like pre-ordering cards because they could drop $20, $30 or whatever and yada yada. It's just not worth it sometimes. So, moving along, we have Reckless Endeavor for 5 mana of any color and mountain, 7 CC, sorcery speed. Roll 2 d12, so 2 12-sided dice, and choose 1 result. Reckless Endeavor deals damage equal to that result to each creature, then create a number of treasure tokens equal to the other result. So you're going to do such amount of damage to each creature, and then make a different amount of treasure tokens. Pretty cool. Once again, it's high up there in the CC, but with a red and certain other colors, you can kind of cheat certain things into play. So you might be able to cheat this into play somehow. I don't know, Fires of Invention or whatever the heck, or who knows. Next up, We've got Share the Spoils for 1 mana of any color and a mountain 2 CC. We have our first enchantment, I think, of the night. We have when Share the Spoils enters the battlefield or an opponent loses the game, exile the top card of each player's library. During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled with Share the Spoils. And they may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. When they do, exile the top card of their library. Definitely interesting. I probably wouldn't play something like this because you have the potential to actually help your opponents, which is probably not good, at least in my opinion. But you're also, I think, helping yourself twice as much, maybe? I'm not sure from the sounds of it. I'd have to read it again and stuff, but seems okay. Seems people are going to play it. Here's another. This has already been printed in the deck I featured last here. So we have Underdark Rift. It is a land. You can tap it to add a colorless mana to your mana pool, or you can pay 5 mana, tap it, exile Underdark Rift, roll a d10, 10-sided dice, put target artifact, creature, or planeswalker into its owner's library just beneath the top X cards of that library, where X is the result. Activate only as a sorcery. Again, not too bad, I guess. It's not super great, but I mean, it's possibly pretty good. So it'll definitely help. Definitely help. Next up, we've got Wild Magic Sorcerer for 3 mana of any color and a mountain 4 CC. We have a creature type Orc Shaman. This Orc Shaman is a 4/3, has a little bit of that extra front action, and the first spell you cast from exile each turn has Cascade. So this is going to help those decks that are already doing the pseudo draw thing and playing the top card of their library from exile. So this is going to give those spells Cascade from the looks of it. So at least the first one. So yeah, that would go in a deck like that. I'm getting excited to play some red pretty soon. And from the looks like it, that might be the end of the thing there. That might be all the spoilers. So I just want to let you guys know, in the near future, there's definitely going to be some Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, mobile arena drafts. I got a draft token, and I've got enough to do a draft, so a couple drafts coming up in the future. What else? We've got new Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, legends and new decks. There will be new deck techs. There will be new Commander Wars EDH gameplays on Friday. As soon as the set is released, there's been some pushbacks. There's been some delays on certain boxes and stuff, including possibly mine. So yeah, we're just hanging out waiting for the Adventures of the Forgotten Realms set box to get here so we could start the next giveaway. Pretty excited about that. Giving stuff away.